Welcome to another episode of Real Estate, Real Life, Real Talk, Real Live with the Real Secrets of Money with your host, myself, Damon, the agent. I want to thank you all for joining me each and every Friday at 12 noon. Please, as we begin the show, please follow me on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, which is known as X now, Threads, Snapchat, TikTok, and YouTube. Um, I want to thank you all for joining me. I also want to thank you all who have commented on my daughter's page. As you'll know, on the 20th of every month, I post my daughter, my youngest baby, miracle child, Zariah Grace Brockenberry. I post on the 20th of the month because she was born on May the 20th. And also, ever since her open heart surgery, I just wanted to show people the progression of her health and how she's doing. And through the grace of God, she's doing fantastic. So I wanted to thank each and every one of you. And as always, let's get into the latest real estate topic. Now, today I want to talk about probate. The reason why I wanted to talk about probate is because there's a lot of it going on. Now, for those of you who don't know what probate is actually a legal process that involves the settling a deceased person's estate. And it also involves proving the will's validity, identifying and appraising assets, paying debts, taxes, and distributing the estate. Now, as you all know, I'm in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. And in D.C., there's a lot of probate going on because, unfortunately, there have been the passing of a lot of loved ones who have left and sometimes not left items, homes to their family members. In some cases, it's a big mess, y'all. Family members are fighting over property, over assets. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because sometimes when a loved one passes away, people don't know if they have a will. People don't know if they left anything to anyone. People don't even know if they have a life insurance policy. Now, the first thing that I will always advise anyone to do is if you do not know, it has to go to probate. The probate is the legal way of dealing with it. Otherwise, if you don't deal with it in your family through the probate, what happens eventually is when the taxes are not paid and the state or county, wherever you're located at, gets a hold of that property. Of course, in many cases, if there's a mortgage on a property, it will fall into foreclosure. A mortgage has a first lien. It's the primary lien against a property. Taxes is another lien, but it's not the primary lien against a property if a mortgage is on a property. Now, if there is no mortgage on a property, then of course the taxes is the primary lien. But depending on all of these things, because sometimes when people have owned a home for a very long time, you don't know if the house is paid off. You don't know if they ever refinanced, if they took money out the equity, meaning doing something that's similar as a HELOC. There are a lot of things that people don't know because a lot of times people don't hold these conversations within the family. And plus, people are always secret when it pertains to money. So the first thing that you have to do if a loved one has passed away and you're unsure is go down to the local probate. Go down to the local probate court. And when you go down to the local probate court, they can advise you from there. Now, I just wanted to talk about that because, like I said, there's a lot of people who are passing away. There are a lot of properties, estate, assets that are not being claimed. And then sometimes, in some cases, properties are being, if they've been paid off and the taxes are the only thing that needs to be paid off, of course, you have those savvy investors who are actually snatching properties. So, to make sure that things stay within the family and you get what's properly owed to you, please make sure that you go down to the proper probate court if you are not sure. All right? Okay. So I want to get into my Q&A real quick. Hold on for 1 second. I have to find it because sometimes I get these questions. I get so many questions, y'all, sometimes. That's the reason why I try to answer them so that you all can be, just in case more than one person has the same question. Where's the question at? Okay, this question right here I had was, do you know of any reason home insurance, do you know of any reasonable home insurance companies? We are trying to lower our mortgage. Do you know of any any reasonable home insurance company? We are trying to lower our mortgage. That's a good question. If you are trying to lower your mortgage, there are various ways that you can lower your mortgage. It depends on how long you've been in the house, if you have any equity or not. Now, of course, looking through the home insurance is one thing, but also you can maybe refinance your property. If you have some equity in, and because you have to take into consideration that when you refinance, it resets the loan amount, meaning not the loan amount, but it resets the years. Okay, so if most people take out a 30-year loan. So let's say you've been owning your home for 7 years. Now, once you refinance, it's going to reset it to 30 years again. But in some cases, that actually lower your actually mortgage payment. Now, the interest rate, you got to take that into consideration, because for some people who purchased a home in 2021, 2022, whichever year it was when the interest rate was extremely low, down to 2 or 3%, that is not the interest rate now, but you need to factor in what your monthly mortgage payment is going to be. That is the most important thing. Yes, the interest rate is important, but your monthly payment is more important, because if you got a cheap interest rate back then at 2 or 3%, and you can reset your loan and your mortgage payment can be cheaper, but yet you have a higher interest rate, then it's worth it. Because at the bottom line, when you owe your monthly mortgage payment, you're not thinking about the interest rate, you're thinking about what you have to pay them. So I would strongly suggest you to really look at that aspect. That's one good question. Okay. Another question. Let me see. I have it here somewhere, y'all. I've been very busy this past week. Just trying to get to all of the real estate questions. Okay, is this the question? Hold on. Please bear with me. Okay. Okay, someone said, what's the impact of inflation on real estate for buyers and investors? What's the impact of inflation on real estate for buyers and investors? That's a great question. Now, inflation has something to do with the economy and affordability. Affordability it varies depending on each person. But when it pertains to on real estate for buyers and investors, that goes back to interest rate and also inventory. Those two things also play a huge role as far as for buyers and also investors. Now, the inventory right now is starting to pick up. The reason it started to pick up because particularly in this area, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, which is known as the DMV, unfortunately, there have been people who have lost their jobs. And because they have lost their jobs, some people have put their house up for sale. Also, it's been mandatory that people have to start coming into the office. And next week, I believe, is the last week for people to do so. So people have been coming into the office and they've been getting caught up in a traffic jam and more commute now than they ever did before. Because of this, some people are considering moving closer to the city, and in some cases, even in the city. So because of the increase in inventory and the demand of people who are possibly moving into the area, the inflation plays a huge role in that because affordability. It depends on the fact of the prices of the houses. Now, again, we're shifting. We were once in a seller's market. We're starting to shift over into a buyer's market. And when it's a buyer's market, buyers have more say so as far as the prices, as far as negotiating. They have more leverage because they have more options. So because they have more options, they have more choices. More choices give them better options. Better options give them leverage when it pertains to negotiation. If they have the right agent and also if they're making the right terms in order to make it presentable to the seller. So inflation has a impact on it. Now, How much impact it has on it, that'll be yet to be seen, because right now we're in transition as far as, unfortunately, people losing their job, and also when it pertains to more houses going on the market. So, and with the demand of people going into work, having to work. So that's just a matter of time. Right now, we're starting to shift into the spring market. Next month will be the spring market. And normally in the spring market, things tend to pick up. So we'll have to come back and revisit this question at a later date, maybe in a month or two. I would probably say in about 60 to 90 days, we could probably revisit this question. And that way we'll have a more accurate answer then. But I always appreciate each and every one of yours questions that you'll ask me. So please have them, continue to have them coming. Hold on, I'm going to be back with the house of the week. All right, y'all. So hold on for 1 second. Thank you for joining me. Let me see. Now we're going to go into the house of the week. I want to thank you all for joining me. This house right here that I am about to share. All right. This house right here, this property is located in Baltimore. It is a great, great investment property. All right. There's positive cash flow on this property. It currently has a Section 8 tenant in it. On top of that, like I mentioned, it is positive cash flow that's going on with this particular property. So if anyone, and the price is affordable, it is currently priced at $155,000 in Baltimore. But as you can check it out, it is a very nice property. There's a tenant in it that keeps the property very well kept, very well kept. So as you see this house, this is pretty much how the house is kept, except with furniture. It is immaculate. So I think that anyone who's looking for a great investment property, like I said, all they have to do is turn over, pick up as far as the Section 8 is concerned, and they can get a positive cash flow with this particular property. Again, this property is located at 17S Rosedale Street in Baltimore, Maryland. Again, the address is 17S, which means South, Rosedale Street in Baltimore, Maryland. This is a great, great investment property that I think that most people who are looking to have some positive cash flow and also to have another property as far as in their financial portfolio would definitely want to consider this property. Like I said, if you haven't checked it out, please check it out. I can send you the link if you need to, or if you want to go on one of the various websites, such as my website, DamonTheAgent.com, or Redfin.com, Zillow.com, whatever websites you'll go to look at properties, you can. Again, 17 South Rosedale Street, Baltimore, Maryland, priced at $155,000. This is a great, great, great investment property for some savvy investor out there. And again, like I mentioned with this particular property, it does currently have a Section 8 tenant in it, which makes it for a great positive cash flow because of what the Section 8 is providing compared to what a potential person can get for as far as whatever their monthly payment is, or if they pay it off. Like I said, this property is available for sale. It's a hot and a great property for all the savvy investors who are out there in the market looking for a great investment property that's priced below $200,000. Like I said, this again is priced at $155,000. I think most people who like investment properties, who like to have good tenants, who like to have a positive cash flow, will really find that this one is something that they can jump into, look into. And again, if you want to check out the address, again, it's 17 South Rosedale Street. So let me know what you'll think about that one. All right, let me get out of this real quick. Hold on. I think I'm on my... Let me stop sharing for a second. All right, y'all. That was that. So hold on for 1 second. I'll be right back. And let me check out the questions while I'm at it. Hold on. All right, y'all. Again, please follow me on all social media platforms. I'm going to get into the real secrets of money that I've been talking about the past couple of weeks. This week, I am talking about insurability. Now, a person might say, what is insurability? Okay, insurability is basically the ability of a person or thing to be insured. In many cases, sometimes you will find that some people are not insurable. For example, if you live a lifestyle where you are skydiving, you're doing bungee jumps, you're doing risky behaviors, the insurance companies, unfortunately, will find it harder to insure you compared to if you live a more calm lifestyle. Now, I say this to also say that when it pertains to insurance, a lot of times people also who may have asthma, who may have diabetes, high blood pressure. In the case of, like, for example, my daughter that I talked about when we first began, my miracle child, when she was born, she had 2 holes in her heart. She had to have 2 surgeries. She had one surgery when she was only 6 days old. She had another surgery when she was 5.5 months old because she had to get her weight up. So she had to take some medication after her surgeries. Because of the medications that she had to take, I found that some companies would not insure her. She was uninsurable in the case. So what I say to you is, I've also found that even when people have things as diabetes, asthma, high blood pressure, in a situation like my daughter, who there are other means to cover them. Okay. These are things that I found as far as making sure that they are insurable compared to being uninsurable. So I wanted to just say that to the point where that when it pertains to life insurance, they base it on your insurability. But just keep in mind that some people are uninsurable due to either their lifestyle or things that they have that are not in their control. But at the same time, there are companies and there are products out here that can guarantee insurance on people who have these behavior and or conditions. So if you have any questions when it pertains to that, please feel free to reach out to me. Like I mentioned also, this is my other website. I'm going to put it up real quick. You can click on that or type that in, which means your wealth agent Damon.com, yourwealthagentdamon.com. You can check out that website. You can send me a message on there. I will definitely get back to you. I believe in helping those people who are trying to help themselves. And I also know that when there's a will, there's a way. And I definitely have a will because there are many ways out here when it pertains to do things. So I just wanted to share that with you real quick. All right, I'll be right back with my topic of the day. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me. Please, real quick, before I get into my topic of the day, please follow me on all social media platforms. Please follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Threads, Pinterest. I'm on everything, y'all, except Pinterest, where I'm Agent Damon. It is Damon the Agent on everything that you all can pretty much find me on. And I also have another Instagram page, which is Your Wealth Agent Damon, which was the same as my website. So if you're on Instagram, please follow me on both of my pages, Damon the Agent, and also Your Wealth Agent Damon on both. So one page links to the other. So if you go to either one of them, there should be a link. If you look in the bio, that links you to the other one. So real quick, I wanted to talk briefly about the unfortunate circumstance that are occurring with a lot of people being laid off, especially when people have been laid off and you work 20, 30 years, and now all of a sudden people are losing their job. In the midst of people losing their job, they're losing their benefits. They're losing their benefits. They're losing money. It's causing a lot of friction amongst people But to be honest, with you all, these are the times that we should be joined together. We should unite and everything. I know it's easier said than done because unfortunately, in many families, people are not getting along. In my family, I don't get along with some people. But to be truthful, I try to get along with everyone. It's just some people don't get along with me. And the same thing goes when it pertains to family. You have husband, wives, boyfriend, girlfriend. You got things where going on where your kids are involved, and it's really starting to take a toll on people. It's just the beginning. But the problem is when you're fighting and fussing with each other, you can never grow together. You can never build together. You're actually destroying each other. I say this to say that we need to unify more than ever. Everyone, whether it's family, whether it is your culture. Every culture, every nationality, or whatever you want to call sector, category has been attacked during this new administration. Everyone. I don't care what it is. And the problem is people are blaming other people instead of strategizing and figuring out how you all can thrive together. During certain times in life, it shows you who people are made of. It shows you who people really are. And a lot of times you see people are not really made of anything. People are scared. People are panicked. But then you have those who are. And what I'm saying to you is you need to unify with those close to you and those have your back. Unfortunately, it'll be the closest ones to you who never have your back, who's never rooting for you, who's never cheering for you, who wants to see you do bad because they really don't want you to see you do better than them, even though y'all are together. You'll be surprised in so many relationships where people are actually competing with each other, or one person is competing with the other person instead of them working together. There are strengths in numbers. And because there are strengths in numbers, we need to unify. We need to unify in so many ways, y'all. I'm just saying it all begins at home. A house divided will fall. They always say that. Many houses are falling, especially because the foundation of most houses is money rather than love. That's why a lot of things fall. When jobs fall apart, people are going at it and targeting. And I know what people can say, oh, you need money to survive, which is true. But the love of money is the root of all evil, not money. Yeah, we all need money to survive. We all need money to enjoy life. But the love of money. See, when you put money over a person, you'll never thrive. You're going to always have situations that are going to occur where it's going to bring to the forefront, of what your true intentions and your true feelings are. Because, see, money comes and go. People can't be replaced. So when you choose money over people, you need to really ask yourself why. Why do you choose money over a person? Oh, because you feel like, oh yeah, this make me happier. Yeah, temporarily. And if the person that you're with ain't making you happy, then yeah, of course you need to get rid of them. But at the same time, though, why? I just say that when it pertains to families, people need to really unify, y'all. It's too many of us attacking us. It's too many people in the family attacking each other. I shared this with a couple of people, and I'll share with you all. I remember when my brothers were alive, because as many of you know, I had 3 brothers that are no longer here. Unfortunately, 2 were killed through gun violence in D.C. My oldest brother, he passed away on open heart surgery back in 2010. And I remember when my brother was alive, me and my brother, especially my brother Adrian, we used to always be fighting. I'm talking fist fighting, because that's how it was when you grew up in D.C. You got brothers and siblings, you're going to always be fighting one way or another. But we used to always use the fist fight. So even when we became adults, we still carry that over with us. And I ain't going to lie, I didn't like a lot of things that my brother did. But when he was taken from me, it had made me have a different perspective on life. A lot of times we don't appreciate things when we have them. We don't even appreciate things when they're gone, when we no longer have them. It's just like your job. You didn't appreciate your job when you had it. But now if you don't have it, then you appreciate it. A spouse, you don't appreciate your spouse when you have them, but if they move on and get involved with someone else, then you're going to find all this negative things to say about them, but you never said anything good about them when you was with them. Same thing when it pertains to your parents. You don't like your parents, your mother nor your father, because you feel like they're doing too much, or they saying this and that, and you don't want to hear it. But then when they pass away, then you wishing you had a conversation with them. And I say this to say that cherish people while they're here, because as you can see, every day someone is passing away. regardless of what the reason is. People are wishing that they had that last conversation. They wishing that they can tell the people that they love them. But part of the thing is, though, is while we are here, we don't need to be bickering and fighting with each other. If you can't say nothing nice about a person, don't say nothing about them at all. Period. Just like that. Because those negativity words that you say, see, words have life and meaning. That's why it says in the Bible, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Words have meaning. And what you say is out there. It's out there. So when you say negative stuff, sometimes you might be gossiping with people, but some people just feed off negativity and all they want to do is gossip. And what you fail to realize is some of the people that you're talking to don't want to see you happy, don't want to see you do well, don't want to see you do better than them. But sometimes you don't realize it until later on when they are, doing good. So I just say that to say, y'all, we just need to unify in so many ways, and it all begins at home. So please, while you are, understanding what you go through, hold conversations, because conversations brings out a lot of things. If you're just there, always on your phone, not paying attention, then of course y'all not growing together, and you'll never know what's really going on in that other person's mind. You can make assumptions all you want, but reality is what reality is. So I just say that, y'all, let's unify. It all starts at home. Thank you for that moment. I'll be right back to do a quick recap. All right. So real quick, y'all, I just want to thank you all for joining me always each and every Friday at 12 noon. Next week, now I was supposed to have Jamoke come on here today, talk about foreclosures. Unfortunately, she was unable. And last week I was supposed to have Miss Denise Young, who was supposed to come on and talk about quit whining and start winning. Next week, I'm going to have one of them come on. I just don't know which one because scheduling conflicts has been occurring the last 2 weeks. So hopefully I have one of them come on next week and we can get this show going on with some other people. I will be having other people come on weekly as I was doing before. So real quick, y'all, like I mentioned, probate. Now, when it pertains to probate, y'all, you have to understand it is a legal process that involves settling a deceased person's estate. It involves proving the will's validity, identifying and appraising assets, paying debts and taxes, and distributing the remaining assets. So make sure that if anyone passed away, you don't know what's going on when it pertains to real estate property, to go down to the local probate court, unless you have a will. And even if you have a will, again, probate helps to prove the validity of that will. And then also, I talked about that hot property that I have in Baltimore, 17 South Rosedale Street. It's a great investment property in Baltimore, Maryland. And then also I talked about unifying, y'all. We all need to unify. People think they do good on their own. You might do good on your own, but you'll do so much better with more people behind you. So, and sometimes people don't realize it too. What they have on their own is taken away from them or gone. Then you're going to be needing everybody. Let's not get there. Let's start to build and grow and love together. I thank you all. I will see you next week. If you have any questions, please let me know. If not, I'll see you next week.